Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the August 11th, 2022 full moon in Aquarius, should say supermoon in Aquarius, part 2 of 2. And now the thing about this is, it's important to look at the aspects this makes to points in your chart, as this could impact its delineation and interpretation. Now, in my case, this is going to make a square to my natal Taurus ascendant. Now, by itself, this may manifest in what I feel like doing, which the moon may conflict with what I'm projecting outwardly, which is the ascendant. Now, the transit moon in Aquarius, may unveil a need to be spontaneous and even do certain things in a unique or unorthodox manner. Now, Taurus rising can be seen as predictable and even perceived as monotonous. Now, Taurus rising can have an aversion to doing things differently and likes to keep things status quo. Now, this may not, affect me this way, but it could indicate that unusual feelings may be difficult to project outwardly. There may also, this is also going to make an inconjunct aspect to my natal Mars in Cancer, at least they lose. Well, it is going to make actually an inconjunct aspect to my natal Mars in Cancer. Now, inconjuncts can often be about adjustments. Now, inconjuncts can indicate too much or too little of something, and now, or could be too much, should say, there could be too much of or too little of one thing or another. Now, for me, this may manifest in trying to find that equilibrium and balance between that emotional need, which is the moon, for groups, friends, and social networking, which is Aquarius, versus actions, which is Mars, that are more introverted and home related, which is Cancer. Now, there may be too much of a focus, on the need for friendships or in groups, and not enough on home in introverted activities, or vice versa. And the key for me at this time may be to find that equilibrium and balance between the two. And naturally, this could be more intensified and amplified because this is taking place, at the it is the aspect that is involving the moon, full moon Aquarius, but it will be, could be intensified and amplified because it is, the aspect with involving that supermoon in Aquarius, I should say. Now, thing two is the supermoon is going to fall at 19 degrees Aquarius. Now, as far as saving symbols go, this could simply be, revelation or unveiling, which is Aquarius. And also, revelation or unveiling, which is the full moon and supermoon in this case, of being more industrious and selfless when that the person may have been aware of. Now, some may be offered, a position, associated with human welfare, such as an environmental or humanitarian engineer, that may result in affluence and prosperity. Now, there may be an understanding of one being able to focus on things without extraneous influences distracting them. Now, another thing too, it's also important to look at the electional aspects. This could impact its delineation and interpretation. Now, this is going to make a square to Uranus and Taurus. Now, the thing is, that emotional need, which is the moon, for freedom and independence, which is Aquarius, may conflict with friendships, which is Uranus, that may have been very loyal and steadfast, which is Taurus. Now, many may be torn between the two at this time. Now, it could also manifest in a conflict for many between awareness, which is the full moon, the supermoon, of being progressive, forward-moving, future-oriented, unique, and innovative, which is Aquarius, and a future, which is Uranus, that may be unwavering and unchanging, and maybe even seen as monotonous, which is Taurus. Now, another thing too, it's also important to look at other transits, to your natal chart at this time, is they can be intensified and amplified because they're taking place at the same time as the supermoon in Aquarius. Now, again, that energy can be very intensified, and even more so because we're talking about a supermoon compared to a regular full moon. And the thing is, now transit, Jupiter, in my case, transit Jupiter in Aries is going to make a square to my natal sun in Cancer. Now, by itself, the transit, could indicate over optimism, which is Jupiter, and attempting to get what I want, which is the sun. Now, I may need to guard against being overly impulsive and impetuous, which is Aries, and going after what I want, which is the sun, and it could be something, home related, which is Cancer. Now, it's also, it's important to look at, other electional transits, that take place at this time, is they will be intensified and amplified because they're taking place at the same time as the supermoon in Aquarius. Now, Mars in Taurus is going to be making a conjunction to Uranus in Taurus at this time. Now, I'm thinking, this may manifest in some, escalation, in cyber attacks. People may be more incensed over this and feel, they really lack comfort, security and peace of mind at this time. And the supermoon in Aquarius, may reinforce and reaffirm this. The supermoon in Aquarius may be expressed in a declaration of security issues associated with computers and the internet. Now, another thing, I want to talk about an event that's going to take place on this day. Now, on August 11, 2022, which of course is the day of the supermoon in Aquarius. Now, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid will be holding a virtual IT conference entitled Convergence 2022. Now, efforts associated with technology will be shared and discussed. Now, the fact this falls on a supermoon can give it added significance. The supermoon will make a conjunction to Saturn. Saturn rules laborious work. This virtual conference may discuss things that are associated with technology, where laborious efforts were made. Now, as I stated before, now the supermoon in Aquarius is going to conjoin Saturn. Now, there's been, at least one study in which emphasized internet use may cause people to be more despondent than, on average, than those that aren't on the internet as much. Now, Aquarius is associated with the internet, and Saturn is connected with despondency. I'm thinking this could really be an opportune day for many to be looking into this and understand this more. And full moons, again, are about revelations and unveilings. It's a time where one may become, more cognizant of things. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.